Right, we have here a Britannia oven and it needs a new lower element. Not getting up to temperature, we've concluded that the problem is the lower element, so I'm going to be replacing that. The oven, just open it, is, if I zoom in here, there's the model number, can we see that? There we go, D900LMP. So a base element replacement for D900LMP. First thing is cut the power. I'm going to cut it at that switch there, but also up the, I'm going to flip the switch on the fuse box or whatever it's called these days. First thing to do, to replace the base element, you've got to do that from the back of the oven. So we're going to slide the oven out of its setting, and to do that you just undo 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then the oven will slide forward. I'm going to slide it forward onto put something for it to stand on so I can then work on the back. Slid forward and is out. Didn't capture that, the video wasn't recording. Fairly straightforward. Undid the front screws that I showed you and then undid the back. There are 2 screws on the back panel that needed to be undone, and then I could lift the back panel away. Here's the new element that's ready to go in, and I'm also going to take a photograph to show you how the electrical connections are. Power cable and the cables on the back of the power input. As you see, 2 live, 2 neutral and 1 earth. What I did is I've marked them 1, 2, 3, 4 just so I can be sure I put them back on the same spade terminals when I reconnect. So just pull those 5 spade terminals off. That's easy enough. And then look at the element itself down at the bottom. It might be hidden behind some of that insulation material. Move that away and you'll see that there are 2 live cables, 1 at each end and 2 earths in the middle. Again, just pull those off. You might want to mark left and right, although it's fairly obvious which one is which. Damaged element, the old element, there were 2 screws that needed to be undone and removed. I've done that. There was 1 at each end of the element, sort of behind that fiberglass insulation, so just pull that out of the way and take the 2 screws out. The other 2 will eventually need to come out as well, but you don't have to do that just yet. Getting the old element out is a little bit tricky because it's got bent by the heating and cooling cycles over umpteen years, and also the fact that it's damaged. It's very likely got a break in it, so I'm using a screwdriver just to help to ease it out, slide it out, but it should come out okay. So that's the old damaged element removed. You can clearly see the damage on it. So we'll put that aside. Actually, before we do that, we need to remove the plate, the metal plate that's on the element, because that will need to get reattached to the new element. So I'll do that now. So that's the plate connected to the new element, so now ready to go back into the oven. Attach the 2 screws holding the element in place.
Reattach the two live cables, the black leads to the spade terminals and the earth cable in the middle. Put back this little bit of fiberglass insulation that's come away. Now reattaching the power cables, the two live, two neutral and earth that I'd marked 1, 2, 3, 4, and then can put the back panel back in place. So replace the two screws that are holding the back panel in place, and we're just about there. So I'm going to speed up the video of putting the oven back into its slot. It's very straightforward, and just reattach the 4 screws.
So that's the oven fully repaired, back in place.